In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
Hello and welcome to the Unfair's Revenge tutorial. This module is not as intimidating as it seems, and what you need is basically everything, so I'll just grab all of that. And I am going to be using like this little preset. I'll put it in the description if you want it, as it makes gathering all the information and storing it easier. So let me just get everything. Okay. DI RCA 2. Let's see. Okay. So let's just go through the manual quick. The display on the top shows the encrypted message. There's also a strip of LEDs on underneath the display, which will light up to show the current stage you're on. The display on the right can be toggled to show the module ID or strikes in red. Both are in Roman numerals. And for all operations involving strikes, always refer to the number in red for the strike commands that you'll get. Everything else is just what's going to be used. Okay. Let's start with KTaNE. So what you need, well, let's start with the message because that's always helpful to decode before you start. It's in pigpen, so just give it in regular pigpen order, or how your expert wants it. Usually it's if it's one of these, you do what's missing, and if it's one of the cardinals, you do what direction it's pointing, and if it has a dot or not, always. So let me just, since this is just going to be a tutorial, I'll just decrypt it on my own. Tango, that would be India, that would be, where is it, Lima, that would be hotel, that would be Mike, that would be Delta, and that would be Lima. Okay, now you take the module ID, it's in Roman numerals, so just Google it, or I can just do it in my head, so it's 13. And now we can start. So what we need to do is start with the bomb's first 3 serial characters. So let me just copy and paste it here. And then what you need to do is take these 3 characters and turn it into base 36. And I'm just going to use a converter as it's quicker for me. That's the wrong one. And this is the number you get. Then what you need to do is grab the bomb's last serial number characters and transform each letter into its numerical equivalent. And I'll just put that down here for now. Okay. And now what you need to do is append the base 36 digits that we got last time. And you have to put it in front of the number you just got. Okay. Then what you need to do is take the number that you get and convert it to hexadecimal. And this is the number you get. And now you convert all of the numbers into its alphanumerical equivalent. And if there's a if it's, for example, 1 0, that would be actually 10 instead of just alpha and blank. And if you get any zeros that don't make sense for where they are, you just delete them. So this would be golf, this would be delta, and this would be golf. But since there's a 0 by itself, because 7D is a numerical equivalent, you just delete it. And now, what you need to do is transform the mod ID. So let me just do this over here. The mod ID, which is Mike. The number of port plates, which is Charlie, because 3. And the battery holders, which is none, so you just skip that. And append that to our current string, so just append Mike Charlie at the end of it. And this is what you get for key A. So let me just save this for later. Next for key B, pretty straightforward. You take the month. For me, it is June. And the day it is, which I believe is Tuesday. Yep. And put that in key B. Simple as that. Now comes the actual playfair. What you need is key A and key B, the ones you just made. And what you need to do is turn key B into your keyword. So you should know how Playfair Cipher works if you're watching this. If you don't, you can just go watch this tutorial real quick. Okay. Now what you need to do is separate the key A into pairs. You don't really have to, but it makes it clearer to see what pairs you're doing. And if there was any character like an alpha left alone, you'd put an X right after it, just like regular Playfair. Or regular unfair, I should say. Okay. Now we just do the decrypting process, or technically the encoding process. Okay, Golf Bravo intersects. Actually, this is immediately a special case, and what you need to do is, I'll just go down to the playfair instructions. Is if it's in the same row, if you're decoding, you go left, but since we're encoding, we're going right. So Golf Bravo, Kilo Charlie, since we're going right. Then Foxtrot Delta, and immediately we got another one. And if it's in the same column, you go either above if you're decoding or below if you're encrypting. Since we're encrypting, we're going below. So that would be November Foxtrot, Delta Golf, Echo Foxtrot, Mike Charlie, again, so we'd go below, Romeo Mike. And that's your key C. Okay, let me scroll up back to the top. And you can skip this part since we already did it, or you can just do it now if that's how you do it. Okay, now we get our Caesar offset. For every port type, we have a total of 3 unique port types. So that would be 3 times -2, which is -6. Every port plate, you plus 1. We have 3 port plates, so 1 times 3, so we're plus 3. For every consonant, Victor and Golf are our only consonants, so we plus 2. We have a vowel, so that immediately just reverts what we just did. BZ minus 2. For every lit indicator, we have 2 lits, and lits are worth 2, so plus 4. For every unlit, we have no unlits. For every battery, we have no batteries, and that's a special rule. We have no batteries, so we plus 10. And we have port, so that doesn't imply, and we do not have 31 or more modules. So this is our offset. And what it means is if it's positive, you go backwards. So treat it as it was, or would be negative. Jeez, I can't speak. And if it's negative, you go forward. So treat it as a positive. It's something sneaky that can trip you up sometimes. So what you need is your message, and just do the applied Caesar offset, and remember that if it's positive, you go backwards. And since this tutorial, I don't really want it to be that long, I'm just going to use a Caesar cipher decoder, because it's just way faster, and there's no human mistakes. So, let me just do that quickly. There we go. And I'm just gonna put it down here, as we immediately have to do the affine cipher after it. Speaking of which, now you get the offset for your affine. So, take the indicators you have. For me, we have lit TRN, lit mic SA, or it could also be unlit, but I don't have any. So, lit TRN is +3, lit MSA is +2, so that's 5. For the number of batteries, we have even battery, so that's 1. For port plates that we have parallel port, we do not have any, so we're still at 1. For port plates with DVI, we have 2 of them, so let's see what we have to do. -5 for each, +4 if it's paired with stereo RCA. Both of them are stereo RCA, so we +8, so that's 9. This is actually a pretty trash affine set, but what can you do? Okay, you can read this and try to understand this, but all it really is saying is this is row 0, which is always going to be your highlight row. This is 6 because if you get 6, you have to use the @bash cipher, which if you don't know how to do that, when you get it, go watch the @bash tutorial. And just if you get a number other than 6, you find that number row in this table. Of course, this is 0, so the next one would be 1. We have 9. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the row we're using. And this is just like the green cipher, third step. So what you need to do is take the letter, find it in this row, find it in the row you highlighted. I guess I'll color it green just so it's easier to see. 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is. Color in the. I'm gonna just color in the row just so you can distinguish what I'm doing. So take the first letter, find it in the row, go immediately up and take that letter under it. So I'll just use highlighted column to intersect. So that's a tango is our decoded letter. And you just do that with every letter. And note that Mike and Zulu are always going to be the same letter, so you could just skip that if you really want to. And just straight up put down Mike or Tango if you get any. Anyway, let me just finish up. So I goes to U. S goes to A. B goes to V. A goes to K. Then I goes to U. X goes to D. Alpha goes to Kilo. Whiskey goes to Sierra. Bravo goes to Victor. Sierra goes to Alpha, and Alpha goes to Kilo. Okay. So this is our finished, just Caesar cipher, whatever it was. See, this is our finished affine string, which I'll just call it that. So, what you need to do now is do a final Playfair cipher using key C as the keyword and the Apbash, or not Apbash, but affine cipher you just did. Let me just place this so it's not confusing. And immediately copy it and put it down here. And you just do a Caesar cipher, or a playfair cipher. And this time we're decoding, so this time we will go left or up for decoding. Where did I put C? Okay. So same thing, using key C as the keyword. So let me just finish that real quick. Okay. Separate these into pairs, just so for the sake of doing the pairs easier. And we should get we should get 4 command instructions. So let's hope that I didn't do something stupid. ST, since we're going left from TU, because since it's decoding this time. AV, where's AV? RW, or did AV? AV is RX, so that. Okay, and if you ever get an X-ray in your instructions, you take the last letter you've gotten, so in this case Romeo, and you just put that again. You just use that as your next letter. As X-ray technically denotes use the last letter. It doesn't really say it, but something to know. Kilo uniform, Echo Papa, Delta Kilo, where's Delta Kilo? There it is. RE, 0 Victor, PX, so we use that. AK, RN. Okay, funnily enough, we don't have any really color instructions, but you can go over the instructions in your own time. They're pretty self-explanatory. The MIT one is the hardest one, but it shouldn't take too long if you just follow the step. So let me just go to what we have. So STR or IKE. Starting from red, count as many buttons, color buttons clockwise as there are strikes. Remember, if you're referring to a strike instruction, you press the screen. We have no strikes, obviously. And we go, since we have 0 strikes, we go 0 colored buttons clockwise from red, so we just press red. Then for REP or EAT, you repeat the last input. So since we just did red, we do red again. And I'm guessing it would be, yeah, red all the time since it's just the last input, and we add it again. And for the last one, PRN, we press the inner center if the ID is a prime number. 13 is a prime number, otherwise you press the outer center, but since 13 is a prime number, we press the inner center.
This was exactly the way, right now, the thing was meant to happen.
And that's all it really is. It can seem intimidating, but it's not too bad. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful at least, and see you later.